Hey everybody, I am Ann Darda. I am a professional psychic and medieval historian. I just wanted to do a couple of announcements before I get to my talk about April Fool's Day, since today is April Fool's Day. So I have my April month not only for my sales for Reiki, but I'm actually having, because I've had my business for 10 years now, I am doing a customer appreciation month where anybody that has had readings, Reiki sessions with me in the past, refer me to any friends or family, and if they book and get a reading or Reiki session with me in the month of April, then you get a free 15-minute reading. And the more people that you get to sign up and actually get the readings or Reiki sessions, the more you get for free. So if you get two people to sign up and actually get the readings, then you get a half an hour reading for free, which is worth $75. And if you get four people to sign up and actually get the readings, then you get an hour reading, which is worth $150. I also have my basic altar magic class online on April 9th. That's a Thursday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. That is $20 a person. So if you're wanting to learn how to create an altar, just sign up for that class and I will send you the link. And then on Saturday, April 18th, I have a past life regression workshop in person from 2 to 4 p.m. in Avon, New York, and that is $30 a person. So if you're wanting to learn more about your past lives and you are in Western New York, then make sure to contact me to sign up for that class. Okay, so April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day, everybody. What do we all think of when we think of April Fool's Day? It's practical jokes and hoaxes that are all abound throughout the day today. I hope that you have not been too duped by anything in particular today, and I hope there aren't any mean pranks going on, because we have enough mean things going on in our society right now as it is. But, it really started having me think about, well, where did April Fool's Day even come from? And there are at least 30 different countries that have different April Fool's Day activities of some sort. And they've been around, and nobody really has a direct answer. Some of the things that I did find was that in 1563 in France, they changed, this was at the Council of Trent, they changed the calendars that they were using. So they originally were using the Julian calendar. This was from the Roman society. They changed it from that, which had the new year starting at the spring equinox or sometime late March or April 1st, to the Gregorian calendar, where January 1st was the beginning of the new year. And so what this did was, and this is before social media, this is before, newspaper, well, there were some printed things, but there were a lot of people that were illiterate and or out in the middle of nowhere and didn't get the memo that, oh, we're changing the calendars completely. And so there was a slow change to the calendars, and so people who still celebrated the new year at the end of March to April 1st were called April Fools and were made fun of as being stupid, gullible, whatever, because they didn't know that the calendar changed. And this is all just because people in power just ultimately decided they wanted to change the calendars. And so therefore it, affected everybody. There's 20, 30 different countries that have long-standing customs for April Fool's pranks. And the Fool in the Tarot is actually a positive card. I have talked about the Fool in the past, but it symbolizes being an open-minded person, open-minded and open-hearted person, maybe seen as a little bit naive, but you're going into a new situation. You're going on a journey, and you're starting a new adventure without any preconceived notions. And so that is, it's when the card is inverted in a reading that the Fool becomes foolish, where that person is actually making poor decisions, putting themselves in jeopardy, something like that. And so the fools throughout time have been a very important symbol to many different cultures. If you look at any of Shakespeare's plays, all of his fools are the ones that are the wisest. He actually has the fools speak truth and speak the wisest lines out of all of the characters, including the noble people. And this was his very subversive way of challenging a lot of the noble people and, people in power and their decisions. But ultimately, it was not seen as a threat or, any type of offense because they were fools. And during the medieval period, a fool was somebody that was mentally ill and or had some type of a learning disability, which back then nobody had compassion for anybody that had any challenges at all. And so any type of person that fit this description, they got to play the fool in any of the noble courts, and they were the only ones that could make fun of the person in charge because they were ultimately seen as not smart, stupid, mentally ill, whatever. And so it was all just for fun. And so, it really begs the question of if it really was because of this change at the Council of Trent. And this is not the only time that calendars have been changed by those in power. What ultimately is it saying about time? What is it saying about what exactly even the new year is? The Celts, they saw Samhain or Halloween as the ending of the new year, and that, we have this liminal space between Samhain and the winter solstice, which was seen as the new year. So everything's sort of like, it's very convoluted, and it's really the people that are in power that ultimately make these decisions that everybody else has to fall in line with, or else. And so we could go on and on about different calendars and things like that, but ultimately, as long as it's just in good fun and it's not hurting anybody, then I think that we all need a good laugh here and there. It's when it gets to be like mean jokes and pranks and stuff that that's when it takes it a little too far. And we have so much, hatred and anger and angst in our society as it is, that just keep it light. Keep it nice, folks. But enjoy it. And I hope that you all have a wonderful April Fool's Day, and I will see you next week. All right. Bye-bye.